Welcome to Trailblazing Career Tech Minds, the podcast where we explore the journeys, insights, and innovations of Baldwin Prep Academy. Baldwin Prep Academy is the first of its kind in secondary education in our region and even the Southeast. Education and industry are integrated at Baldwin Prep with industry partners involved in every step of the way, from curriculum planning to the design of industry-specific environments for education and training. So buckle up and get ready to embark on a journey of discovery, innovation, and inspiration. Welcome to the forefront of career technical education. Welcome to Trailblazing Career Tech Minds. I'm your host and career coach, Morel Baxter. Today's Trailblazers are Chris Kerby with Kerby Companies and Mr. Bullock, our Construction Instructor. Oh, that's a mouthful. And my co-host is
Carol Turner, English teacher at Baldwin Prep.
So I was just telling the group, I've been super excited about having Mr. Kerby on our podcast because Mr. Kerby was actually the main inspiration we had to start our own podcast. Wasn't it, Carol?
Very true. We reached out to Chris Kerby early in the year to talk about how to get started because we'd heard your podcast through Facebook and Reels, and they were so informative and just kept everyone informed about the latest things that your companies were doing. And so we just had to know, how do we get started with it?
Awesome. I had no clue.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
When I was going back to the notes of all the things that they met with you about, I was like, man, this is really good. Then I went and listened to a couple, and I'm like, oh, man. So I am a little bit intimidated having you on today. So hopefully we do okay and we're up to your standards.
No, look, I don't get nervous, but I'm used to being on the other side. So now I'm in the hot seat. So that's good.
And I will say the biggest advice you gave us was to just get started. Just jump in and learn from those mistakes, because it's trial and error and it's just going to take practice, and once you have like your formatting, it'll get easier every time. And I just think that's true with any learning. Like, it takes that opportunity to learn from the mistakes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I also remember you came and spoke to our Baldwin Girls Build this summer. I loved hearing you speak with your team. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did, absolutely. I think the girls build camp that happens every summer here in Baldwin County, it's awesome because we've got about 30 people and a third are female. So and it's from out in the field to in the office to interior design. So just open it up like that to young women who want to get into the construction industry, showing them there's a path. So to be able to be a part of that is inspiring.
It is.
Yeah.
I told Mr. Larson and Mr. Eubanks last time we talked about construction that is just inspiring girls to go into a non-traditional career, which is construction. I mean, it is inspiring. Yeah. So
girls, they make some of my best students. They really do.
Oh, tell us why. Because I always tell the girls, we can do it better and in heels.
That's right. And they're my best painters for sure.
Okay. Well, I just want to know a little bit more about y'all's background in home building, construction. Let's start with you, Mr. Bullock. How did you get here?
Oh, how did I get here? Let's see. Long story, I guess. So I used to frame, do trim work. I owned a few businesses. I've done welding, all kinds of things, and always wanted to teach, and so here I am.
Awesome.
What about you, Mr. Kerby?
Okay, so I actually grew up, my dad was a contractor. And so I grew up watching him do projects. There was always a project at home. Okay. And then when I turned 14, I started going to work with him during the summers. And I was just a general laborer helping him out, and decided I do not want to do construction. And so after I graduated from high school, I actually joined the Navy. And I did 20 years in the Navy.
Wow.
And then all the flip shows started coming out. Flip this and flip that. And me and Roma, my wife, were living in D.C., and we were looking at townhouses that were, just astronomical prices. And I said, back home, we could get 2 or 3 of these things, and we could probably try to flip one. It took a couple years, but in 2013 is when we started flipping houses, and we've done a little over 20 houses ourselves.
Wow.
And then we started doing some commercial. So downtown Loxley, we've done 5 buildings in downtown Loxley. And that's kind of what started that. And my dad and brother-in-law would work with us. And then if we didn't have a house, they would have to go back to work. And I was like, I don't want them to go back to work. So we actually started Kerby Custom and started taking on jobs outside of just our own projects. And it just kind of grew from there as people, being from here, people would call, can you hang a fan? Turned into, can you do a bathroom? Turned into, now can you build a house?
Wow.
So yeah, that's where we started, and pretty much been in it my whole life.
I pass your business every day. It's on the way to my kids' daycare, and I'm like, what y'all got going on today? I'm going by early. Lots of trucks out there every single morning.
Yes.
So what skills and qualities would you look for in a student? I mean, and how do you see yourself linking up with Baldwin Prep?
So for me, and me and Mr. Bullock were kind of just having this conversation. So last year, he invited us to come and speak to his class. And we did. I took 2 of my project managers, and we went and spoke to the class. Afterwards, Miss Jones, a teacher at Robertsdale High, reached out to me and said, I have a student that heard you speak and really wants to get into construction. Would you come and talk to him, maybe mentor him? So we did. Met him in August, and then kept tabs on him throughout the year. And this summer, I actually hired him and let him work for the summer. And now he's in co-op with Miss Toomey. And so he gets out at 11 or 12, whatever it is, and he comes and works with us for the rest of the day. But we have 2 apprentices, one being my son, who's 19, and then 17-year-old Gavin. And you can see the difference. My son had no background in this. This is something he chose to do after he graduated and then figured out, well, I need to, get a job. So he came to work for us. He likes it, but the student that went through the trade school has skill already. It's a tremendous difference. Just being able to use the tools that Mr. Bullock gave them, tape measure, cut right, different things like that. So instantly he made an impact. He was able to walk in and literally start work the day he came in.
This was your kid?
It was, surprisingly.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear that. Yeah. He was telling me about that earlier. So I was kind of wondering where that student was this year, and then I found out he was doing the co-op. So that's really great for him.
So I see that as a pathway.
What an advantage, too, that they're able to practice it with you in a classroom and get that one-on-one instruction, but then have that authentic connection of applying their skill in a workplace.
Absolutely. And we are getting students, we are getting young adults, men and women that come out of BPA that are choosing this career. In construction, that is not always the case. A lot of people do this because they couldn't do something else. So the added benefit is the passion. This kid came to us, this young man came to us, and you can tell this was going to be his life. This was going to be his career.
That's really awesome. And he heard about you from a guest speaking
So
in your class?
Chris comes to my class and speaks. He gives a great presentation. And Chris was reminding me it was one of the students that I had to keep getting on to during his presentation.
No, it's funny because when the teacher reached out, I said, it's not this kid. And she said, it's that kid. And I was like, wow. But you can see, though, the reason and the need for this and these programs is there's always non-traditional ways to pursue your passion. And he was not passionate about school, but he stayed on the right course because he's passionate about this. Yeah. So it is different.
He did really well working in the shop. Yeah. He bored to death in the classroom when I'm teaching math or something like that. But that's really good to hear. Yeah.
That's good. Now I need to get you on the calendar. We want you to come back and speak.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we didn't get to show you the whole building before you came in, but I mean, what do you think so far?
So it's amazing. So for anybody who has not come and toured, you should do so. I told them I kind of felt like I was walking into a building in New York City. I mean, it's so nice. It's so updated. It's so different for Baldwin County, but it is exactly what we need. I mean, the forefront, here in Baldwin County, I can't believe that I'm even in Baldwin County right now. It feels that different and that updated.
It really does. Cool. I hope that, I know we are, because we have some really amazing instructors that we can keep up with the forefront. And we were just talking about the skills and the things when we walked in here. Yes. So tell us more about, what does that mean to you?
So what I've seen, and I'm so glad that this young man came and worked for us, because now I can attest to what they were already teaching at the trade school, which now is just going to be enhanced by the extra equipment and facilities that they have. But he had skills that translated directly to the marketplace. And I think, from what I've heard, that is the objective here, is when they are able to graduate, to connect them with industry partners. And I can vouch for the fact that he was able to walk in and come straight to work. He was career ready, right?
Wow.
College and career ready. He was career ready.
Go, Mr. Bullock.
Yeah.
What are you excited about in the construction industry?
Well, right now I'm really excited about teaching the kids about fortified homes. That's not going away. It's going to be here, and most people don't really know anything about it. And so I'm not an expert in it, but I have friends that are. And one of those being Nathan Lippincott is coming. He's been here once to talk to the kids about what he does, and he brought his cyber truck up, and got to do some cool stuff with that. But he's going to come. When is it?
Next week.
Next Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
He's going to come and teach the kids all about fortified homes, and so that kind of thing. I'm really excited about getting the kids exposed to as many career fields as possible in construction. I try to let them know that, just because you're in construction class doing a lot of woodworking, that isn't the only pathway for you. So I had, a couple of my students, they wanted to go to college, wanted to continue their education in construction. One got a full paid scholarship to Alabama. Was a female, by the way.
Great.
Nice.
And the other got a scholarship to Auburn for their construction program there. And so I just try to keep, the what is the mantra here? The career
college choice.
Mm-hmm. So it really is true. So I have kids that'll go to college for construction. I have kids that'll become home inspectors. Hopefully, different pathways, and then some that will go work maybe as an intern for Mr. Kerby here and do well with him.
Yeah, and speaking on the fact that, it's not just hands-on skills, it is management, time management. Even with Nate, he does some of our fortifications on our gold fortified homes. There's so many different sectors. So even in our own company, you go from, helping, being in the field, to project management, to senior project management, to where you're running your own home build, and so it's not all just labor and hands-on skills.
Yeah,
I thought it was so cool when we were walking in here and talking, and you were saying that if you are going to run your own construction company, the business background that you need. And I do have a lot of kids that are like, I want to do construction, but I also want to double major in business. And I'm always like, yeah, that's a great idea, because it could go together.
Absolutely. And so that's one thing in our industry where I've witnessed it time and again, where they're very skilled and they know what they're doing in their field. However, when it comes to managing the finances, generating leads, doing estimates, all of the other stuff that comes with running a business successfully is where they lack. And so in our company, they have the ability to come and just be a craftsman or craftswoman, and we take the burden of running a business. But there is so much business, administrative stuff that you have to do to be a successful contractor, other than doing the actual work. And that's where I'm hoping that a facility like this can bridge that gap and give them something to lean on as well, because they may go into the field and be ready to work, but how are they with time management and project management and even finance? Personal financial management translate directly to how you run your business.
Yeah, I think that's an area that core teachers can help with making our projects very much skills-based with project management, cost analysis, but also communication, like being able to communicate your proposal effectively and convincingly. But I know that one of the things we want to see as the core teachers is supporting the CTE side. So building those projects that relate to skills that they'll be using in shops as well is something that we want to make sure is aligned.
Well, and where I would say budgeting is huge, right? So we talk to them about the personal financial management and creating a budget when they're in high school and in class and math. But in the business, when they're going to do projects, it would be great to see them budget for the project. How are you going to come up with the money to do this? Because the house, the material, the people to do things, how much does that cost? How does it work with if they're using a bank? They're on a draw schedule. So it's those types of things where I see people fail. And it's where they go from doing the small projects and they're like, let me take on a big project.
The bigger ones.
And they're not, they're not ready to bridge that gap. They've got the knowledge, they've got the technical know-how, but it's the other side of it, the budgeting and getting to the finish line.
Right.
That sounds like a good class project.
Mr. Larson and I are actually teaching a project management class this year to our third-year students, so that'll be great for them. A lot of that stuff, estimating, cost and calculating that and takeoffs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Did you say you had apprenticeships? You had your son and this?
Yeah, so actually we're the only contractor around here locally that so they get their core credentials as they're going through Mr. Bullock's class, and now we also have the same credential. So a student that leaves here, if they walk out with their core, they can continue their education with us and through the NCCER and continue their certification path.
Okay.
Yeah, so
How
it is.
How many do you take a year?
2, and honestly, we have a signed agreement with Coastal with.
Okay.
With Dr. Duplantis.
Yes.
And their construction program that is it's the same thing, the same curriculum and everything. They walk out of the building construction course, and we can take 2 from there as well, and they can work with us under basically they'd be an apprentice and a journeyman, and then after 4,000 hours, it's do they want to stay? Do we want them to stay? And they continue their career there. Nice. But they're coming out of that building construction program with the same core credentials and things like that. So
I'm just curious, as a career coach, so what do you think some of the soft skills or the essential skills are they lacking when they come out, or some things that you're doing good? You mean as far as like management and things like that they're doing well with? Well, a lot of them are younger. So I think, honestly, in construction, if you wake up and get to work on time and you're there consistently, that's a win for us. I mean, I don't really know that people understand in our industry, as with I'm assuming most, just getting young people, young apprentices to understand how to be consistent with time management, phones, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll say though, the young man that came out of Mr. Bullock's class, you could tell he wanted this so much that we have not had those types of issues. I mean, it's surprising, but I think if you set a standard and allow them to step up to that standard, they'll surprise you. And we've allowed him to do that, and he has surprised us.
Nice.
Yeah.
What this is a question for both of y'all, but I'll start in the classroom. What type of technology do you see this influencing the construction industry, or in your classroom?
Oh, well, in the classroom, we have simulators. I think you may have seen some of those. We're going to have, excavator simulators, forklift trainers. They're used to the video games and stuff. This really isn't a video game. They go through modules, but it's fun for them. Of course, CNC machine. We have a really nice CNC machine that they can learn on. As technology-wise, this school has it all. Anything we could want. I mean, we really have it. But the simulators are really neat. The kids like it, and it helps them get ready for, like for instance, our returning students. We're getting ready to take them through a mini X course, and then skid steer training. So after they complete that, we're going to get the skid steers and the mini excavators, and we're actually going to go move some dirt around and take them through some courses and stuff like that. So the technology warms them up to that.
Right.
So, because it's actually it's just like the machine.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. These are high dollar machines that the big construction companies actually have their employees train on.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think with that, it's you're moving from a fossil fuel generation to that technology, to where what he's talking about is you're moving from levers and diesel to on-screen, pushing buttons and things like that. So that's, again, going to translate to the real world. As they keep upgrading this equipment, it is more technology button pushing than it is actually mechanical levers and things like that.
Right.
So,
Do you think that, I guess, we as education right now are doing a good job aligning, what we're teaching with, what you're getting, what you're needing in your industry?
I would say just, based on the one case that I've got, I would say that it works. I would say that the program, now I think this is going to be what he was able to do on steroids. I think this is going to be, it's really going to elevate the program even more, and I'm excited to see. And that's what I'm here for. I want to open that opportunity to be an industry partner and say, one of these young men or women that are in the class that gets recommended by Mr. Bullock can come and do an apprenticeship with us, because I think a lot of kids are wondering, great, I'm getting all these skills, but what does that do for me? What if I want to stay here? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? So yeah, I definitely think based on the one young man I have, that I could see the results instantly.
Great. That's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these kids, they start out, not knowing how to read a tape measure. It's not their fault. They learn how to read a ruler in third grade, and they don't really see it much anymore unless their family's in construction. So, it's amazing to see the progression that these kids take from, never running a circular saw and never using an impact to, working for Mr. Kerby.
Yeah. Absolutely. And he's proud. Listen, he is proud. The first week after he got his first paycheck, he went and bought like a very nice tool kit set up. Like even some of his coworkers, the older group was like, whoa. Like he was super proud of that.
That's
so
great.
it was
investing in his
equipment.
and
to
his
see
craft.
a 17-year-old go and do that instead of buying video games or it was just surprising. So yeah, you definitely are doing something over there to make them passionate.
That's good. Yeah. Good to know.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? We have student listeners, business partners.
Oh, yeah. So I will say if you are in the residential is where our focus is, but home building, residential remodeling, if you run a company now and are looking to expand, please, let BPA know, because I think where they could use the help is having more industry partners come and talk about needs, because I think you have a platform to fulfill those needs if you have people telling you what it is they need.
That's awesome. Well, I know we're not in the shops yet, and you saw that, but we're hoping to be in there soon, right? I passed some kids in the hall the other day, and they was like, I'm so ready to get to work.
Oh, yeah, we're all ready. Yeah.
I know. So hopefully we'll be in there soon, but in the meantime, I'm going to be doing some things, some helping connect industry with the school, so we would love for you to come back and be a guest speaker in our construction class. And if you're listening out there, if you are a business, I started this new thing with BPA because we do have strong industry connections. We're going to do a Nibbles and Networking event every other week, but it's for industry to come in and just really connect with our students. And so next week we do have a construction table, so we would love for you to come and connect with our students and just sit down and have lunch with them and get to know the students and hopefully share some career knowledge, industry knowledge, and maybe one day that will help them get hired. Who knows? We hope. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to do a lot of other things that connect industry with our kids. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So appreciative of all of your support and sharing your knowledge with our students, because it really does align us with what the industry standards are.
Thank you.
I would say you are the epitome of what a wonderful industry partner should act like. Yes.
He has a great presentation, and the students really enjoy and look forward to him coming.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm willing to share that with anybody. So anybody who's listens, let me know, because we're not competing, but we're trying to get these young men and women help BPA. So.
Awesome.
And if you haven't already, Kerby Companies is on Facebook and on podcasting as well, Spotify,
What's
iTunes,
your podcast
everything.
called?
The Home Building and Remodeling Show.
Yes.
The Home Building and Remodeling Show.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will see y'all next Monday.